caterpillar. It's so rare that something happens that makes us believe in hope again. And for me, and I know for many of you, that's exactly what happened here a year ago. Animal experimentation happens all across Canada. It happens in our hospitals, in our universities, in different secret labs within our community, and most of us never hear about it. We walk by these places and we have no idea of what the animals inside are experiencing. But that did not happen with St. Joseph's Hospital. That did not happen here because two brave whistleblowers decided that these animals deserve to have their stories told. They refused to let these animals down. And that's not where everything ended either. My hope was actually reignited again because of all of you. When you saw everything in the news, when you read our newsletters, when you saw the video and the photo and all the information to do with what was happening to the dogs and the pigs and the rats and the mice here, you fought for them. You made phone calls, you sent emails, you contacted the media, you organized, you protested, held demonstrations. You literally made it so that change became inevitable. Because of the whistleblowers, because of activists like you, not only did St. Joseph's Hospital close down their secret dog lab, but legislation was introduced and passed, making what happened to these dogs at this hospital illegal. It can never happen again within our province. That is what makes you heroes. You literally made history for these animals. And I was just talking to someone about this. You know, often within our community, we're so quick to fight and move on to the next fight. It's really rare that we actually take the time to celebrate our wins and to really sit in that and think about what that means. So I want to talk about Mac for a second. Mac is my dog. He's the love of my life. He is 7 years old, and he actually spent the first 6 years of his life inside of a laboratory. One of the most beautiful and most heartbreaking experiences that I had with Mac was maybe a day or two after I brought him home. I was working at my desk, and he wasn't around me, which was kind of strange because he's usually just glued to my side. And I looked over to the living room, and he was sitting in this beam of light coming in through the window. And it was a really thin beam. It just fit his entire little body. And he closed his eyes and he lifted his little head and he just embraced that sunshine. And in that moment, I thought, is this the first time that he's feeling the warm sun on his face? The dogs that were released from this lab and were rehomed and given a chance at a normal life, they're probably experiencing a lot of firsts because of you. The first time they feel the warm sun on their skin, the first time they get to sleep in a nice warm bed, their first trip to the park. That is incredibly significant. And we have to remember that. We have to remember that for every single animal that we save or prevent from a life of suffering inside a laboratory, that is quite literally saving the world for that animal. And we have to use that to continue our fight. Like I said, you're heroes to those dogs, to the dogs that are never going to be put into this place ever again. You are heroes. But I have some bad news because a hero's job is never done. Our job and our fight here is not over until this hospital commits to ending all of their animal experimentation. This hospital literally took dogs and threw them in the trash like they were nothing. And next to those dogs were also the bodies of pigs and rats and mice. And they have every capability of feeling joy and love and suffering just like those dogs. So we have to keep fighting for them. You have to do what you did before. And we will be here to support you throughout that entire process, because no dog should die for science, and neither should any pig or rat or mouse. Thank you.
Melly, be nice. Be nice, Melly. Sorry about that. Melly, be nice. Be nice.
Yes.
Be nice.
Yeah.
Be nice.
I want to introduce you though.
Be nice.
I'm going to bring up our first speaker today. You're not going to speak yet? After Peter?
No, it should be all
Near
right.
the end. Okay. We're changing up the
she'll get used
schedule a
to
little
them.
bit.
Melly, be nice.
We're going to have our first speaker up today, other than me. I'm your MC. And that is Peter from Teva. Peter does incredible work in the Toronto area.
Yeah,
I'm
you can
sure a lot
hold
of
it.
you have heard
You wanna hold
about nucleotechnics and the experimentation happening on dogs there.
put it
Peter
through,
has largely
just in case.
led that fight and has been doing this work for a very long time before anything even emerged out of St. Joseph's Hospital. So please join me in welcoming Peter.
Thank you. Okay. Am I good to go or?
Yes.
Okay. No problem. Let me find my speech. Okay, we're good? Good afternoon, friends and fellow animal rights advocates. Let me start by thanking Animal Justice and Release the Dogs for organizing today's event, and to all of you for coming out today to advocate for animals and their right to live free from being used for testing, research, and educational purposes. Unfortunately, Barb, the Anti-Vivisection Alliance's other co-founder, is away on holidays and couldn't be here, but she sends all her love. Imagine being bred into an existence to live your entire life in a cold steel cage, being induced to suffer heart attacks, forced to inhale toxins, deprived from food, water, and sleep, addicted to drugs, infected with diseases, blinded, induced to have seizures, having your skull cut open to stick electrodes in, force-fed chemicals, and many, many, many more barbaric procedures. For the over 150 million animals being used for testing each year in laboratories like the ones here at St. Joseph's Hospital, they don't have to imagine. This is their reality. The list of species who are being tortured in hospitals, universities, government labs, and private facilities around the world is long and shocking. Includes dogs, fishes, mice, cats, rats, pigs, primates, rabbits, hamsters, cows, sheep, frogs, chickens, and horses, just to name a few. No one is safe. Fortunately, we are making progress in Canada and around the world. In June of 2023, Canada passed Bill C-47, which prohibits testing on animals for the cosmetic industry. Canada now joins over 40 other countries that have also passed laws to either limit or totally ban cosmetic animal testing. In June of the same year, 2023, Canada also passed Bill S-5, which will phase out toxicity testing on animals by the year 2035. Recently, due to the hard work of Animal Justice and Release the Dogs, the Ontario government passed Bill 75, which prohibits invasive medical research on dogs and cats, which has led to the shutdown of St. Joseph's Hospital decade-long program of torturing and killing hundreds of dogs. Even though a great battle was won, the fight continues to release the remaining species currently being imprisoned and tortured at St. Joseph's Hospital and in laboratories around the world. More and more people are starting to realize that animals are not here for us, for use for any reason, including testing, research, and educational purposes. More and more people are starting to realize that animals are sentient and deserve the right to live free from all forms of exploitation. More and more people are going cruelty-free. So you can help stop animal testing by buying only cruelty-free and vegan products, contacting your municipal, provincial, and federal government representatives demanding they pass laws to demand that animal testing be stopped, contacting companies demanding that they implement a cruelty-free policy, supporting organizations that fight against animal testing, signing petitions and participating in calls to action, sharing information online, and talking to your friends and family about the unethical, ineffective, and costly of animal testing. Thank you for listening, and let's keep the good fight going until all the cages are empty at St. Joseph's Hospital and in laboratories around the world. Thank you. Okay. Thank you, thank you. You want this back? Thank you. I hope that got recorded well.
Oh. I'm just going to introduce the next speaker. Do I need it?
You could hold it.
Okay, hold it. Thank you so much, Peter. Our next speaker is someone who is very much on the front lines. She was there for the dogs at Ridgeland. She's been advocating for animals for a very long time, animals of all species. Jenny McQueen.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh my God, something that Neva's just mentioned about the light coming through, you know, on the animal feeling safe. I rescued with a team a piglet from a pig farm. And there's his picture. So
beautiful.
Yeah. And literally he was there in the light for like 1 minute. I got one picture and it's like, oh my God, it was like a miracle, an absolute miracle. And you know the other thing, animals always inspire. On the way here, there was like an eagle, a hawk in the sky, and there was a little bird. You know how they kind of chase and they try and get them away from their nests and they defend? You know, they're brave and they're annoying. So everyone here, remember the little bird. The hawk is these big institutions, you know, like the hospitals, like the animal testing labs. We're the little birds, we're the little brave and annoying people who write letters, who protest, who support the organizations. Anytime you see an animal, be inspired, and you know, whatever way they're doing, they are the protectors too. So, let's see. Yes, I was down at Ridgeland. My t-shirt kind of says it all. Tear gas, pepper spray, we're okay. And you know, the big thing is, we got the dogs out. And it's not just one person. It wasn't our team that day going in and getting so much violence from the police. It was then the animal rescue organizations in the background making the negotiations happen. There's so much that goes into making an animal safe. I mean, you have the investigation with Direct Action Everywhere and with the Simple Heart Initiative. Everyone coming together, people like Gary Urosky, you know, like icons in our movement. And then you have the footage that gets out, you have the media that take it up, you have the journalists like Jessica Scott Reed who will write in the major publications and get the word out. Then you have the rescues, you have people who are willing to foster and adopt, you have people who are willing to donate to those organizations. Someone like the Beagle Alliance comes in and actually negotiates in the background. Sometimes you have to negotiate with the enemy. You know, there's some cold truths in all of what we do, honestly. So dogs, I mean, it's a success. You know, well done, animal justice. Well done to the whistleblowers. They're the true heroes in this. But you're the heroes too. I think dogs light a fire within us. Their personalities are so relatable. You know, they look you in the eye and there's a person there. They're so relatable. And yet there's other animals languishing in these places that we care about and we want the public to care about. But for dogs, honestly, I'm going to touch on a few different situations where the dogs are languishing. Universities like, you know, Toronto University, oftentimes we don't know what animals they're testing on.
And Western.
Western.
Western, just down the road, 30,000 animals. What?
Exactly. And people don't realize one case comes to the forefront and people are shocked. But honestly, it's a systemic issue that we really need to be addressing. Dog sled operations. Would you believe, like a day like today, what do the dogs do? Well, oftentimes they're just changing a field. So bringing awareness to other dogs as well. Individuals always come to the forefront as well. Hainu, an individual, is being campaigned for right now, an awful death. Wang Wang, if people know that name. I can't look at any videos like that, but yeah, individuals come to the forefront too. Yeah, so who am I? I'm an animal rights activist. I consider myself fiercely non-violent. I'm good with trying any activism, honestly. I was down in Ridgeland. I have advice for you if you're ever tear gassed. If you ever experience tear gas, get down on the ground, breathe through the soil. It wasn't on my bucket list to go down and, you know, just miss having a rubber bullet. And being, you know, I started wearing a white suit for biosecurity, and by the time I finished, you know, it was orange with pepper spray. And honestly, I've never experienced such pain. I had my eyes washed out 3 times with soap and water, and I was still swollen, eyes shut, when I was speaking down at Madison. So we go through pain, we go through terror. I've been arrested, I don't know, we're up to double digits now. I've had court trials. You can still advocate when you're in handcuffs, funnily enough. You know, in the back of the police car, you can be telling them to watch The Game Changers. You can be telling them about Challenge 22 in whatever situation you find yourself in. Yeah, there's always something you can do. And someone like myself, I get attracted to the dramatic actions, but I also do the letter writing, the petitions, and that's what you can do too. From today, post something on your social media that lets your friends and family know that you are concerned and you've been here and you are protesting, and it really hits home to the people around you. It makes it more personal for them. Okay. I think I've covered a lot. I mean, I did have a card saying what's effective. And I think if something speaks to you as an activist, just do it. Don't take criticism from people saying, oh, you know what, you could be doing this or you could be doing that. If something speaks to you, go out and do it. The pen is really powerful. Keyboard, touchscreen. But yeah, telling your friends, watching documentaries, donating, supporting animal sanctuaries. Animal sanctuaries are honestly so important. I mean, we couldn't be rescuing dogs without the dog rescue organization. I couldn't be rescuing pigs without the farm animal sanctuaries. So important. I call it the circle of animal rights. It's the circle of life. People often use it in the wrong way. They say, oh, I eat animals, it's a circle of life. No, 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 no. Honestly, circle of life includes chaining someone, includes confining someone. No. Circle of life begins with the animal and their needs. It includes humans. We start with concern. We start with empathy. It continues with investigations, with brave whistleblowers, with media, mainstream media, social media, protests like today, celebrations like today, documentation, carefully documenting what you see, making sure you get video evidence of what you see. The actions that I've done in the past, disrupting, I don't know, the raptors, disrupting the blue jays, it wouldn't have happened without someone filming. Like Len was at the Blue Jays filming. It wouldn't have happened. You know, it doesn't get out there unless you actually film. Shout out to Shobia too, down in Ridgeland. Peter was down in Ridgeland. Sandy Schnurr, another Canadian, was down in Ridgeland and she's facing charges. She was part of the Open Rescue. So fundraising is a huge thing. Donate to Animal Justice. Donate to the Beagle Alliance, donate to, you know, all the different organizations. And I'm going to give a shout out. I've got 15 different organizations to shout out. So obviously, Animal Justice. On Facebook, you can join the Animal Justice Action Team. Get involved there, super friendly. Lots of actions on all sorts of different campaigns. Release the dogs. Exactly. Kenzie, thank you. You've got Animal Alliance working in the background. Check out their website, great information there. Animal Rights Toronto, not just Toronto, we included the event for today. We include events all around the GTA and beyond. We've got Direct Action Everywhere. I'd normally be wearing the DXE shirt, but Direct Action Everywhere is where I get the saying fiercely non-violent from. If you want to learn how to disrupt or how to be on an open rescue team, then that's the team for you. Joanne MacArthur, she runs We Animals, and if you need photographs, she's got a massive resource that is freely available for you to use on your social media, to make posts, etc. Last Chance for Animals. Oh my God, they're based in the USA, but they come to Canada and they did undercover footage at Necrotechnics, where we're protesting, where the beagles came up from Ridgeland Farms. Awful video. And they also did York University, where we're protesting for the macaque monkeys. You've got the Simple Heart Initiative in the USA, the Beagle Alliance. If you can get into the USA, go to the March for Animals, which is under savethedogs.io. You've got Toronto Anti-Vivisection Alliance. Thank you, Peter, and thank you, Barb. If you want some of the science, look up Dr. Charu Chandra Sakara. She's amazing. She writes about animal testing. She's Canadian. She's the real deal. You've got another group, Canadian Grassroots Animal Rights, CADGAR. We put events on, and if you want to be an admin on that site and create events and have a page to do that from, just let me know. I was reading something on the way. Layla Kassam in the UK, she talks about pressure campaigns, and you can check out her posts. Just kind of friendly, interesting tips on how to do activism. And then the last little thing, what's on my radar? Too much. So much going on. You can't do everything, but we're kind of focusing on York University, on Necrotechnics, getting fur out of the shops. We're having success, but LVMH is holding out. So that's with Fur Free Toronto. Burlington Veg Fest is coming up, August 15. Yeah, who's going? I see hands. Woo! Excellent. Project Livestream, we're at the slaughterhouses doing live streams there. The march against Marshall Acres. Now that Richland shut down, we want to as well get to Marshall Acres. So check out Wayne Shung and Simple Heart Initiative. I always try and visit sanctuaries, support them. I've got a lot of videos that, you know, I've got in the background to make. And doing vegan outreach, promoting things like Challenge 22. All of you can make a huge difference, and I want to thank you all for being here, so thank you.
Thank you. Can I have a little thing again?
Yes, there you go.
Thank you. Sorry. Okay, folks, I'm gonna invite our next speaker up, and this is a very special one. So because I'm inviting our whistleblower up to speak, I'm gonna ask that you please turn off all cameras, and that includes any audio, because we wanna protect their confidentiality and identity. And then after they speak, you're welcome to turn them back on.
Yes, I do. I'm doing good. I'm gonna just be walking away for now. We're going to finish the live stream now. Let's turn around. I want to thank everyone for joining. I'll check all the comments later. Couldn't be checking the comments throughout. I did see Alicia though, so thanks for being here. And let's close this down. I'm not going to be filming any whistleblower. Yeah, thanks for joining.